Alright, so probably can't guess where I'm at if you're in Arizona. Oh, maybe all my old school buddies might know where I'm at. So I am at the Concord Mall here in Elkhart, Indiana. What you're staring at right here is what's left of the old Concord Mall Theater 1 and 2, I believe it was called. They only had 2 screens. Closed in, I'm going to say, the early 90s. I think the last movie I saw here actually was the original Jurassic Park. So that would have been around 93. A lot of good memories there. There were some other theaters in town. There was some downtown that closed probably in the early 80s. We, growing up as kids, probably either came out here or went to the Pierre Moran theater, which I think was 2 screens as well. That's long since gone. I just passed over on Cassopolis Street, the Encore Theater, which I guess has changed to an AMC, but it's the same building. I think originally that was only a 6-screen theater. I don't know what it is now, but that's all there is for movie entertainment here in Elkhart, I believe. So anyway, yeah, that's the old theater. I remember driving by here when we were kids, back when E.T. came out, early 80s, 82 I guess, and the lines were just wrapped around this building to get in to see it, probably for months, because there was only 2 screens here. I think the Star Wars movies were the same thing, same deal. So I'm gonna walk over to the mall here. So I am in actually the JCPenney parking lot. Man, it's so bright here. It's 6 o'clock. I forgot summer's here. The sun's out until 9. So I did a little digging into the history of the mall. I think it said it was built in 72. JCPenney actually wasn't one of the original tenants. It moved in, I think they said 76. Over here is one of the original tenants, not Hobby Lobby, but this building here used to be Montgomery Ward, which closed, I want to say, early 2000s. There's a Joann Fabric here. It's one of the older stores still here that's open. It used to be a variety department store, I believe, at one time back in the 80s. Probably gonna look kind of weird talking to my phone about the mall when I walk by people, but that's alright. It's 2018. People can get used to it.
They asked for McDonald's anyway.
So this is the Concord Mall. Piece of our childhood memories. I haven't been here in a couple years. Last time I was in Indiana was 2016. Well, I put some new lighting in the ceiling here in front of the Pennies. That's kind of cool. So, right around the corner here, this closed off store actually used to be several things. When we were kids in the 80s, it was a ice cream shop. And then it became, in the 90s, became a Time Out arcade, I believe. There's some history for me right here in front of the JCPenney when I was, I don't know, probably about 8 or 9. The Boy Scouts Pinewood Derby was actually held right here. I might have done it twice, but I just remember my brother Kevin, his car was the General Lee. I think he got 4th place I don't know how mine did. They didn't win any trophies or anything. So it's really sad. There's not very many stores left open here. There's a Spencer Gift. The rumor is that it's about to fold. Hey Tommy, welcome to Elkhart. And there's Todd. Todd remembers this place, I'm sure. Actually, we came here 5 years ago for our 20-year high school reunion. Oh, there's a little arcade right here. Actually, the original arcade, the original one I remember from the 80s, I believe was right here. I believe. I know it was on a corner. Todd, you can chime in if you remember where Aladdin's castle was. But I think it was right here. Looks about right. It wasn't very big, but it kind of went back a little bit. There's a jewelry. I think this has always been a jewelry store of some kind. I think Claire's has always been here. Now I can remember since the 80s. Yeah, Todd, Aladdin's castle. Yeah, you remember it? So my memory's not so good anymore. I'm getting kind of old now, in my 40s, but I want to say this GNC here used to be a bookstore. No, actually it's right next to it. B. Dalton Books, maybe? Or Walden Books? I used to go in there all the time looking for Dungeons and Dragons stuff. That was like our favorite place to go on the mall to look for D&D stuff. Not sure what that used to be. There's the Joanne Fabrics up here. So the Hobby Lobby entrance is here. This used to be Montgomery Ward back in the day. This you like the 70s and 80s deco here. This wooden paneled place used to be a Bo Ricks, I believe. Bring them on camera. I have no idea how to do that. What do I do? Invite him? Chess King. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a blast from the past. Chess King. Man, you're gonna have to tell me how to do that. I have no idea. So one of these are still here. This is a part of the original mall. These seating areas here. I think, if my memory serves me right, there used to be little TVs here back in the 80s. Surf shop. Surf shop. Public safety. That's a little odd. Okay, there's a famous storefront right here. Actually, it was a MCL cafeteria. It was a chain, I believe. There was one in West Lafayette, if I remember right, Todd, right? So, a couple of my buddies from high school used to work here. Tom and Chris. Hey, Scott. One of the reasons why I wanted to come down here and kind of do this, kind of for posterity's sake, because it does sound like maybe this is going to go away soon. So the next time I come in a year or two, it may not be here anymore. Todd. I don't know what this used to be. This looks like it was a Bath and Body Works at some point. Maybe. Something like that. Alright, what else we got here? Ben's Soft Pretzels. So, That was actually, this is the corner of the famous caramel corn. I don't know how long it's been gone, but I do remember that was caramel corn. Caramel corn was one of our COIS sponsors every year. I remember, not personally, but in the soccer league when we were growing up. I remember caramel corn always had a team. So there is a food court. Always a bad sign of the food court when there is no food. There's nothing in there. And then the other side here. So this is the main mall entrance actually, right here. I think there used to be a bakery or a bank. I think this was the music store. I think this was Super Sounds and Enzo's. Wave hi to Facebook. So my buddy Shane Tullis actually used to work here when we were in high school. Funny story. If Shane's listening or not, I don't know. But he used to sneak out for lunch every day. I think our senior year, maybe junior year too. I don't remember. But he actually brought in a cup from Enzo's one time to our calculus class. He had no shame. He also used to park in the teacher's parking lot. He was a rebel. There's a Subway. Yeah, I remember seeing the Subway here 2 years ago. So I think this actually was the old Claire's. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right here in the corner. Kind of looks like it. The outside might have been a Claire's. So I should probably turn around so you can see the middle of the mall. So this is kind of the saddest part of the Concord Mall. That was some beautiful 70s architecture in here. The real cool part about this, all these original seats here still. The coolest part about this actually is gone. If you look online, I'm sure you can find pictures of the fountain that used to be here. The fountain actually almost reached all the way to the glass windows up here, and back in its heyday, that fountain would just, it was loud. I don't know if that contributed to one of the reasons why it closed down. It was probably expensive to maintain. But yeah, there used to be a huge fountain here, and I think in the 90s they finally closed it, and they started putting like potted plants, I think, in the fountain, and it looks like they, tore it out totally, and now it's a play area. So, well, at least it's being used. This video's here. Oh, sorry, lost the connection there. So there's three main wings to the Concord Mall. There's still JCPenney. The other side is Hobby Lobby, which used to be Montgomery Ward. And this one down here, which I believe closed recently. It says Carson's, but back in the 80s it was Robinson's, I believe. I think it was one of the original tenants, Robinson's, and then I think it was bought out and it became an Elder Beerman, and that was here for quite a while, I think through the 90s, maybe 2000s. There's not much left here. This is a dead zone for sure down here. So I think, I want to say, this one right here, it's a pretty big store front. I think this used to be Deb, like the women's clothing store. And my sister used to work there, at least for a while during high school. And this Christian bookstore, it came later, but it was open for quite a while, and it looks like it finally closed. Wasn't it Bethel Books at one point? I don't know. So here's it says Carson's up here. It closed recently, I believe, from what I learned online. Or within the last year, I suppose, I don't know. You see my reflection here. I'm wearing my Guinness soccer jersey from Dublin. One of my souvenirs from last year's trip to Ireland in the UK. So this building, or this store right here, I believe used to be the pet store. I think. It looks like it. I think that's been closed for a long time. There's some cool artwork out here to cover up the emptiness. So, by my count, there's actually only 2 stores open on this side here. Here's one of them, big shoe store. I don't think this was always Shoe Sensation, but I think it was always some kind of shoe store. Anybody who's watching, comment if you remember what it was. Friendlies. Just more old. There's this place over here called Maurice's. Don't know how long that's been there. Within the last probably 15-20 years. I don't think it was here in the original stores. Again, a lot of these are so, these storefronts are so generic, it's really hard to remember what they used to be. We're almost to the end here. Oh, there's a nail store open here. I guess the most shops that are still open are down on this wing here. Down by the Pennies. Got a cell phone place open there. So that's my quick tour of the Concord Mall. You know, for the most part, malls are kind of a thing of the past. Although we still got a couple of large ones out in Tucson still that people go to all the time. They're usually packed on the weekends. But I mean, the thing is they have the shops that people want to buy stuff from, and if you don't have enough customers, I mean, unfortunately, Elkhart's not that big a town, and they can go, 20 minutes away from here to University Park Mall, which has just grown and grown over the last probably 30 years, that it's not that difficult for somebody that lives here to just go down the road, and there you are, you're at a mall that has everything. So that's it for my trip to the Concord Mall. Hope you all enjoyed it. Have a good night. Hello again, everybody. I am right now in Elkhart, Indiana. My old stomping grounds. This is parking lot and supermarket here on Jackson Street. I worked here for about 7.5 years, from '94 to 2002. I was kind of back to everything. Everything store, basically, every department you could basically work in. So I don't want to do a live video inside because I'll look like a weirdo, but actually I might. I just won't say anything. I'll just kind of walk around. I'll still look weird though. I'm gonna go out here, out to the sign. There's a little bit of history out here. My history. There's a Peking buffet. I can't believe that's still here, over in this little shopping plaza. We used to go there probably 2 or 3 times a week for lunch. It's pretty good. Cheap Chinese food. If we didn't go there, we'd either eat at the deli in the Martins, or maybe go down in the street to McDonald's. So I'm coming up to the sign here by the street. So the reason why I'm coming out here, a couple of reasons. One, I've started using my Samsung Health app on my phone and not getting enough exercise, so I'm getting a little walking in, burn off some of the calories from earlier today. And two, because this sign over here, which it doesn't look like they're using anymore, marquee I should say, underneath the sign, for about, I don't know, a year or so, I used to actually climb up that every Monday morning and change the signs out here. That marquee right underneath there. I used to climb up this ladder right here, which is tied up, it looks like, because they're probably not using it anymore. The reason why I stopped doing it was at some point during the middle of winter when it was snowing, I was climbing up there changing the signs one morning and about slipped and fell from all the ice and snow up on the railing up there. So when I got done, I was really pissed off and calmed down a little bit, and then went in to talk to the store manager and explained the situation, and he said, yeah, I basically don't want to do this anymore. I'm not getting paid anything extra to do it, and it's not worth me falling to my death. So he understood, and there are no hard feelings or anything. So anyway, that's my little story about the sign. It was kind of fun though, for a while when it was nice out at least. Going up there, being able to put all the sales and stuff on there. For I think about a year, I was maybe one of only a couple people that would actually do those signs. But anyway, I'm gonna make the long walk back over to the store. Hey, Shane's here. Did I fly to South Bend? No, actually I flew into O'Hare on Tuesday night and drove all the way here from Chicago this afternoon. And then Saturday morning I'm driving right back to O'Hare for my flight back to Tucson. See us in Indy. That'd be cool, but I don't know if I have enough time to come down to Indy. I sort of have plans to go down and surprise my grandparents in Peru tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon. My grandpa's birthday is actually next week, so it's kind of a birthday surprise for him. My mom said to go to Mr. Weenie's and bring him a tenderloin. I don't know what kind of birthday present a tenderloin sandwich is, but anyway, I thought it was funny. Brian Gordon, yeah. We used to play soccer together at CYS. Went to high school, Oxbow, middle school. CYS, I think about that a lot when I come back to Indiana. Those are really good times. It's actually kind of, those memories kind of what inspired me to start playing soccer again in my 30s when I moved out to Tucson. And then I blew out my ACL, and that was about it for that. But some good memories. So this is the Martins on Jackson Street. Be surprised if there's anybody still here. When I worked here, that was 16 years ago, but it's possible. There you go. I used to do the beer orders for the store. Looks about the same. It's on the same aisle. I don't see any Tequiza or Zima though. But they do have Magnums. Check it out. All you folks back in Tucson, never seen a 40-ounce Magnum. There you go. Maybe it's just a Midwest thing. It's one of the older Martin's supermarkets. For those folks back in Tucson, it's the best comparison to Martin's is probably Bash's, because it's more of it's a family-owned business, but they have a ton of supermarkets here in Indiana. There's some in Michigan, and yeah, I think that's about it. But they actually are bigger than like the Kroger's, the big chains here. And the newer ones are, the newer stores are actually really cool. Most of them have like Starbucks inside. So yeah, I worked here after high school for about 7.5 years. It's pretty much all the same. Actually, when I got off the toll road about an hour ago, I stopped at another Martin's over in Granger, which is near Mishawaka and not too far from Notre Dame. It's a newer one, probably quite a bit bigger than this one. So we're coming up to the deli. That's kind of the reason why I'm doing a loop around the store. So you can kind of show the folks back in Arizona Martin's world famous paninis. There's the fried foods. But here is that's big time right here. Might have to come for lunch tomorrow. So basically the same. No, thank you. Yeah, I look like a weirdo. There's a Starbucks over here. This was actually the first Starbucks in Elkhart, Indiana. True story. I wasn't a big coffee drinker when I used to work here. They had good hot cider though. Everything's pretty much the same setup as it was when I was here 16 years ago. I think I even worked in the floor department every once in a while to fill in. Unicorn. Alright, so I'm going to end this video here because I'm going to make one more stop, one more video tonight. I'll catch you here in maybe about 20-30 minutes. Hello everybody, welcome to Elkhart. One more video I'm going to make here before the sun goes down here. Flip the screen around here, I'll figure it out. Old high school. This is a field right across from the main entrance of Concord Community High School. I went here from 1989, 1993. Funny story is actually in 8th grade, I actually came over here for a few weeks across the street from the middle school, which is over here, right next door, for Spanish class, because the school I transferred from in 7th grade over in South Bend had Spanish, but they didn't have Spanish at Concord Junior High. So I actually was in the 8th grade class at middle school or junior high for Spanish, and then when I went to the 8th grade, I had to go over to the high school to take the 9th grade Spanish, so muy interesante. I know, probably not. So I'm gonna walk down here. Hi Anthony. Used to work with Anthony Ed Martins actually. Welcome to my video. And Franklin from Tucson. I'm kind of new to this whole Facebook Live, so bear with me. I just started this because my wife likes to do this when she goes on vacation. I thought I'd try it on a solo vacation. Just came out here for some work training out in Chicago. Decided to make a day trip over to my old hometown here in Elkhart. So I'm kind of walking around the front of the high school. I just wanted to how beautiful it is for all these folks back in Arizona. It's so green. This is the best time of year to come out here to Indiana. It's warm, it's a little humid, but nothing compared to the blazing heat of Tucson, Arizona. So this is the main entrance right here to the high school. Around the other side real quick, see the field and all that. Phone battery is gonna die here in a couple minutes probably. Anna Gloria. Kelly. How's it going, Kelly? How's Phoenix? Trying to add you guys here. Like I said, I'm still figuring this whole Facebook Live out. I've never really used it. Maybe once or twice before, but going around the side here. So the music department here. It's like a world famous music department here. I wasn't in the band. My sister was. She played flute. Hi, Shauna. Yeah, you know what? I would love to meet up with you guys, but I'm only here for one full day tomorrow. Probably gonna leave town around noon to head down to Peru, see my grandparents. That was kind of the main reason actually for coming out here, was so I could get to see my grandparents, which is about almost a 2-hour trip from here. But if I had time, maybe in the morning or something tomorrow, that's about it, because I gotta drive back Saturday morning to O'Hare to catch my flight in the morning. Alright, so the Beckman Performing Arts Center. So this is the auditorium. True story, in 3rd grade I was actually one of the leads in our school play when I went to Oxbow Elementary. I believe Ken Peer, I think he was one of the leads of the play as well. It was like a Christmas play. I can't tell you exactly what it was about. My only memory of it is having like a Christmas list. I guess we were elves or something. And my I think partner in the play, his list, like Christmas list, dropped to the floor. It was so long. Mine was just like a foot long. Got a good laugh out of the crowd. That's all I can remember from that. So here's the entrance to our famous McEwen Gym, home of the Concord Minutemen, also home to former NBA star Sean Kemp. If anybody's a Seattle Supersonics fan, remember Sean Kemp from the 90s? Broke a few of the backboards while he was here. I think he did it when he was in elementary school too. I think he actually could dunk when he was in the 6th grade. I don't know how long my battery's going to last on my phone. I try to charge a little bit in between trips here. Let's just walk down here. Football field. So I was a big nerd in high school. Didn't play any sports, although I did try out, I think, my freshman year for soccer. And when I didn't make that, kind of devastated. Never tried out for sports again the rest of my time in high school. I was actually a better swimmer probably than soccer player. And it's funny because probably it had not been such a disappointment not making the soccer team, it probably would have gone out for the swim team because you didn't really have to try out, if I remember correctly. Hi, Todd. Fun trivia fact about swimming. I don't know if I'm going to have time to go over to our old house on Oakwood Court, but we actually had a swimming pool, in-ground swimming pool, growing up, and actually taught my brother and my sister actually how to swim by using the old 2-liter bottles as flotations in the pool. So none of this actually was here when I went to high school. This entrance here looks really nice. Over here to the right is a soccer fields in the back, and then this is actually this parking lot is actually where the band actually practices, and that tower is probably new within the last 20 years or so. I wasn't here again when we went to high school, but I know that Concord Marching Band is still, to this day, one of the best in the country, and they get invited to all kinds of parades still, like Macy's and all that kind of stuff. My sister actually, when she was at the marching band, they actually went down to state. They won one year when she was here in the band. The football team's out here practicing. See if I can get around here to. So if I remember correctly, my senior year, our football team was 0-8. I think we lost every game, and I'm not sure, but I think in the playoffs we ended up that year playing like the #1 ranked team in the division. I think Hobart it was. Didn't go to a whole lot of football games. I remember my biggest memory of football games was National Honor Society, I think our senior year, doing the fundraiser in the rocking chairs in the end zone, or behind the end zone, or in it. That would have been hilarious. Looks good. School looks good. What? Elkhart Memorial. We must be practicing on the PA system. I know Daniel Paris can see the field. Stepdaughter Paris is actually in the marching band at her high school, University High, Rincon, back in Tucson. kind of carrying out the family tradition of marching band. Yeah, I just walked through the parking lot, kind of looked like an idiot. There's tennis courts over there. I believe those were here when I went to high school. I think those are the same. The soccer fields were, like I said, I think our soccer fields were actually back there next to where the band practices. But most of my soccer memories are from Concord Youth Soccer. I think I played every summer from summer and fall, more like fall, I guess. From the 3rd grade up to my senior year. So about, I think, 10 seasons. Good times. Wasn't really that great a player, but I had fun. Hi, Todd. I'm getting kind of warm. The humidity kind of getting to me a little bit. That, and I'm wearing a black soccer jersey. Yeah, kind of take for granted when you live here all this beautiful green scenery. Don't really have a whole lot of that in Arizona. That's gonna wrap it up for me. I'm gonna say goodnight to everyone in Facebook land. Till next time.